This is Cheap Seats.
Vinny Romeo.
Luca after Palmer.
Hilarious.
Needle before fall.
Hilarious. Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Seats. Today we're going to be looking at the 1996 U.S. Poker Championship. Poker on TV? I've never heard of such craziness. I know, it is crazy, despite your mock sarcasm. Thanks to a resurgence in the popularity of both the game of Texas Hold'em and the institution of degenerate gambling, poker shows are now all over the cable box. Later, we'll give you a sneak peek at some of the new poker shows that'll be hitting the airways in the coming months. But first, it's the World Series of Poker's combed-over half-brother, the U.S. Poker Championship from Trump's Taj Mahal. And here's what to look for.
Here's what to look for. Here's what to look for.
2 words. Phil Hellmuth. Sure, he may be a professional poker player, but when it comes to acting like a normal human being, he clearly has not given up his amateur status. Not to mention the fact that his shirt looks like a crossword puzzle. And not one of them easy Monday or Tuesday ones. We're talking a Will Short Sunday puzzle, yo, but I'm gonna finish it. I have to finish it. Okay, now that Randy's all riled up, let's make like a dealer and flop down here on this couch.
I'm all in, baby.
Jeff Healy?
Rock on!
Okay, somebody cut Yasmin off. Poker! Handsome poker! All right! Rock on! Freeze it. Is that Gary Coleman shooting craps? Well, Buttafuoco's there, so maybe it's part of a surreal life reunion. Now go fish. My question is, who owns this casino?
From the Taj Mahal Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, it's the finals of the first United States Open Poker Championship.
Nice carpet. Does it match the drapes, folks?
Hi, I'm Gabe Kaplan. We're here at the Taj
Welcome back to obscurity.
United States Open Poker Championship.
Did he ever tell you the one about his Uncle Cy, the poker player? Yep,
We
twice.
started out 2 days ago with
Gabe Kaplan. What, they couldn't book the second Becky from Roseanne?
paid
4,000 of the world's best poker players began this tournament
And this guy.
here at the final table. Introducing today's finalists in seat number 1,
Gator!
Miami, Florida.
Pause it. He looks like Robin Williams halfway through his Mrs. Doubtfire makeup.
In seat 2, Surrender
Borat,
Cigar,
my wife.
England. In seat 3,
He looks like Jay Davidson from The Crying Game.
California. In seat 4,
Ken with a face for radio.
Nevada.
Very short wave radio. Flanders. Pokerly dokerly.
From Hop Hog, New York,
You're not Mr. Purple. Somebody from another job's Mr. Purple. You're Mr. Pink.
Port, Tennessee.
We're now down to our final 6 players.
Did he swallow a Muppet?
$500,000. Okay, dealer, shuffle up and high card for the button.
And now the button moves to the left.
Slowest transition graphic ever.
West
10
Side.
folds. And Jerry's thinking.
Lord bless these cards. Amen.
Players in the finals, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Wait, pause it. I just figured out 18 down. Hideous. Hideous. Now I can start working on 19 across.
A real East Coast, West Coast rivalry could develop here.
West Side.
Like Tupac to Biggie, minus the Hennessy player. Eat that, neighborinos.
Bill raised 12,000.
My wife.
Calls 12,000. So we've got 2 players in this hand. Each is putting 12,000 before the flop. There's about 30.
Come on, dealer, neaten that flop up. Phil Spector's hair is in better shape.
Now, if someone has 2 spades right now, they have a flush.
I've got 2 spades. Rand, you're not even in the game. God, you're such a d***.
Phil leads out and bets 20,000. Jerry is not thinking long. He shoves all his chips.
Flanders, all in. This one's for Rod and Todd.
Phil throws his hand away, and Jerry
Puzzles up.
heads up battle. He says, I don't care if you're the former world champion, Phil.
He didn't say that, Cotter. He just sat there quietly, hypnotized by Helmuth's shirt.
Last night, this irascible New Yorker challenged.
Slower.
Well, Phil's an outstanding player, but you know what? Mike Tyson was a great fighter, too. And Holyfield knocked him out.
Why wouldn't he reference Buster Douglas?
Players, I think the room's not big enough for their egos.
Meow.
And someone asked me if I came here to win. You bet. Yeah, Phil's a good player, and I think he's going to be very happy coming in second or third place.
Which will be after me because I'm coming in first.
No.
Is that clear or...
Look at a Budweiser. Really, come on. Yeah, I'm thinking about it a little bit, but you know what? Then don't phrase me. I want to win. I want to become...
As opposed to what? Wanting to lose?
You know, people have worked all their life and played for 20, 30 years for this opportunity.
That's a career you can be proud of.
God, that I have the opportunity. I'm going to get a good night's sleep, and I'm going to sleep like a baby.
A baby with a gambling problem.
Now, each with a dream of winning $500,000 first prize.
Actually, 4 of them dream of winning $500,000. The other 2 dream about becoming showgirls.
Sunat throws his hand away. Phil has to call 2,000, make the big blind, and the big blind is Ken Flayton, whose nickname incidentally is Skyhawk. He says, let him...
Flayton's nickname is Skyhawk? Doesn't really fit him.
Wow, what a flop. 2 aces and a 3.
Yeah, I would have gone with Old Wrinkle.
Let this flop go. He will have to bet. There he goes, 6,000.
Skyhawk, get in his face!
Got it. And throws his hand away. And 10-5, a bluff flips over.
Gotta bluff occasionally, boys.
How do you think I got my wife to marry me?
They accidentally flipped over or accidentally on purpose.
Right. Phil doesn't do anything accidentally.
Except get dressed. All right, let's go back to the interview with poker-playing Ned Flanders. It's got breakdown written all over it. Sean?
Thanks, guys. Oh, Flanders, there are so many things wrong with this interview. It makes Tio working out in his driveway for reporters seem like a great way to promote team unity. First of all, when was this interview shot? New clothes, no glasses, stash out of control. Call it a hunch, but my guess is that this interview took place at a halfway house 3 weeks later, after Cusack was on a bender of gin fizzes, sick bow poker, and panhandling on the Atlantic City boardwalk.
Well, Phil's an outstanding player, but you know what? Mike Tyson was a great fighter, too. And Holyfield knocked him out.
And here's the problem with your Tyson-Holyfield comparison, Cusack. Holyfield was a legitimate heavyweight threat, beating a Tyson who was 2 steps away from getting a face tattoo and acting alongside Jenna Jameson. In the end, Flanders, it didn't matter, though, because you were more like Vanilla Ice to Phil Hellmuth's Suge Knight, a trash-talking wannabe on the verge of being hung over the Texas Hold'em balcony by one of poker's crossword puzzle shirts.
Hey, welcome back. Now, as promised, here's a glimpse at a new poker show in the works. It's slated for a January launch, and it's from the folks over at the History Channel.
This winter, the History Channel presents a poker show that can only be described as revolutionary. Watch as our forefathers attempt to pull 4 of a kind.
I raise ye 50 doubloons.
It's Louisiana Purchase Hold'em at its finest.
Ye are full of Franklin, and ye know it. I'll call.
Where they're not just playing for chips, they're playing for freedom.
Mister, I can't tell a lie, my... Bets to ye, Betsy Ross.
I'm all in.
I fold. Forsooth.
Who invited the skirt anyway?
It's Colonial Poker, and it's only on the History Channel.
You've played with the 5 players.
Okay, nobody look at the person they're talking to. Perfect.
There's one player I'm going to treat differently. Right over there, he's watching the interview.
Hi, guys. What you talking about?
With a lot of, plays very, very aggressively, and my buddy and I have been talking about how I can finally pick up aces and kings and get him.
Bill's bluffing again. He doesn't have any buddies.
At the top of me, and we've been waiting.
Phil Hellmuth, the favorite, continues to dominate the action.
The hot poker action?
Surrender's Lucky Charms better start working.
Mine didn't. I was on top of the world as Mr. Carter. Chicks everywhere, more money than God, and now look at me. I can't even get Ron Palillo to call me back.
He's going to raise here. He makes it 26,000 to come. That's
Lozenge!
almost half his.
Gator!
Surrender goes out. Phil,
7 down, 8-letter word for Phil's table demeanor.
Paul calls it 26,000. He's raising 45,000, which would put Paul McKinney all in. Paul doesn't think too long here. He's going to call. He puts 42,000 in the center.
Phil doesn't scare Paul. Paul's already faced his toughest opponent, hemorrhoids.
Paul McKinney turns his hand over. He's got ace-7 of spades, and Phil's got ace-queen. Paul McKinney is in.
He's up, but where's he going? Chess king to get a crazy vest.
Or 3 spades.
This guy makes Red Auerbach look healthy.
Then Phil's going to win. Well, here's a flop.
Flop.
Oh, he's got a straight and a flush draw.
He needs a 5 or 2, 5 or any spade.
7 also.
What happened to Cotter's mic? It sounds like he's reporting from inside a coffee can.
Actually, that's...
So, what are you doing later? You want to fill in 37 down, if you know what I mean?
9 also. 5, 7, 9.
I know I don't know you, but can I keep rubbing your shoulder forever?
7, a 9 or a spade. And he got a 7.
See ya.
On the rail. Kind of interesting the way Phil got that news. Phil was on the rail talking to his mother.
Whoa, that was his mother? Now I'm really creeped out.
How could you call the re-raise?
Mommy, Paul called a re-raise with an ace and a 7. Tell him to stop, Mommy.
You didn't know he was going to do it?
I know he's coming with the hand. I know I'm a big favorite over him.
But when you re-raised
I've been waiting for him all day.
Phil is now berating Paul for calling him. Phil has won a lot of poker tournaments, but he's never been voted Mr. Congeniality.
Or best dressed.
Final table, dozens, literally dozens of times on the tournament trail. Phil Hellmuth.
Whoa, hey, those are rented chairs. If Kaplan doesn't get back his deposit on those, his kids don't eat.
There's these other 3 players. This is the first time they've ever made a final table.
Here goes Bill McKinney for 27,000.
Does anybody object to waiting 2 minutes for me to go to the bathroom?
What do I care? I'm incontinent.
Yeah, you can.
Did you hear that, Jack?
First the mom massage, now the bathroom bluff? This guy's pulling more tricks than Doug Henning at the Bunny Ranch.
Hey, can you get the waitress, get him some water, please?
Hilarious. Must roll through.
So if you see Phil squirming in his seat a little bit for the next 30 minutes.
At least someone will be on the edge of their seat.
Right there.
Try to get the ego battle going a little bit.
You got to remember that these 2 guys are 2 of the top poker players in the world.
You're away from the table. You can't wait.
You go and I'll take my time.
Get my way.
Poker playing Ned Flanders extending an olive branch.
That's wrong, Jack. That's the wrong rule.
I'm sure Phil will be gracious about it.
Act on his hand for me. How do you like that, Skyhawk?
That's our little Phil.
Strong. Phil's really stirring things up here.
Yeah, like the National Guard at Kent State. Did you know that Gabe Kaplan was in a TV movie called The Hoboken Chicken Emergency? Yes, I did know that. And like The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, it followed the comedy formula of having an animal, and a city in the title. Oh, see, I thought you were going to say, like the fish that say Pittsburgh, the funniest thing in the movie was the title. Well, there's that, too. More cheap seats after this. Jay. But when it's real people playing for real money, I actually find myself rooting for someone to win. Would you go so far as to say you would care who won? Now, see, that's an interesting question.
Just the facts. Do you care?
Do you care that in June 2004, Ben Affleck beat out 89 other players to win the California State Poker Championship at over $356,000? Do you care that Linda Fiorentino won her role in Men in Black from director Barry Sonnenfeld in a poker game? Do you care that John Wayne won the dog that played Lassie in a poker game but ended up giving the dog back?
Do you think the guy who owned Lassie just brought her to the game and when he ran out of money, laid the dog on the table? No, I think he just brought her leash and her SAG card. Either way, he had to have been PETA's choice for pet owner of the century.
This is more like a tag team.
I'm in the mood for a really bad segue.
In fact, we haven't seen this much emotion since Baywatch star Yasmin Bleeth raised a few eyebrows in the early...
And also raised a few.
Several former world champions, including current World Series of Poker champion Huck Seed.
Wait, Cotter's playing in the tournament? What was ESPN's backup plan in case Cotter made it to the final table? Oh, makes sense.
Vince Van Patten taught Yasmin how to play Texas Hold'em.
And then he taught her how to play cards. That's creepy.
Vince had a respectable tournament himself, Gabe.
And by respectable, we mean he didn't lose his father's 8 is enough nest egg.
Common denominator. You can play your hand perfectly, but if Lady Luck's not with you, you just ain't gonna win.
Ain't gonna win. Wasn't Cotter an English teacher?
He's doing it a lot.
Skyhawk, pensive.
$15,000. It's gonna cost Ken Flayton $13,000 a call. He doesn't call, but Jerry's going, and Phil beats him into the pot. Jerry.
Hasty move. An impulsive gambler. I don't believe it.
Phil turns over 2 9s, and it looks like Jerry got his hand caught in a cookie jar here.
Yes, a $200,000 cookie jar. Oh, Flanders. There goes the leftorium.
Favorite to win this hand.
All right, deal.
Did he say, all right, deal? I just found 13 across. 5-letter word for a needle poke to the finger.
Oh, he needs a 3.
Yeah. It's got a 3.
Does he want a 3? That's not a 3.
3.
And neither is that. Yes. And the crowd loves it. Get over here, you. Mommy, hold me.
Phil goes over, gives Mom a hug, and Jerry's got to settle for a handshake from Jack McClellan.
Pokerly dokerly. Sorry you're not our type. But you are a good man, just not a Sigma Phi man. Here's the funny part. She doesn't even work for the hotel. There he is, token fat drunk guy at his buddy's bachelor party.
Trump just stopped by to see which of our 5 remaining players will wind up with that.
Trump looking especially wealthy? Freeze it. He's got Carol in there, but no George. How are they going to start firing players if George isn't there?
We're here with our host, Donald Trump. Donald, it's been great.
Trump doesn't wear a baseball cap, but Trump owns the casino. Coincidence?
The idea to have the first United States Poker Championship. How do you think it's gone?
It's the finest tournament in the world. Can I fire you now, Gabe? I also have an idea for a TV show called The Apprentice. Want to host it? Nah, I'm fine with my studio apartment in Alhambra.
Great player.
I think we should have a heads-up match. You against me, a little courtesy play for me being the host.
Look at the desperation in Cotter's eyes.
A little friendly poker game.
That'd be great. It would be great. You know what really surprised me, not knowing that much about poker, other than I own the joint, is
And I'll also eventually bankrupt the joint.
we ended up with 100, and now we're down to 3.
He may be down to 2 in a minute. Surrender's gone all in.
My wife.
Phil's got all his chips and Surrender's called. Phil has 2 4s and Surrender has...
You can never surrender.
The only way Phil could win this hand is with a 4. Here comes a jack, and the last card is a deuce. Surrender has won the hand.
Surrender with the skunk stripe.
This is the first major setback for Phil Hellmuth. It's like he bought a building and the property value went down 50%.
That's it, Cotter. Now you're speaking Trump's language.
This is sort of like playing with real estate. It's perception, it's judgment.
Phil, I think he can make the row of chips on his own.
Life, it's a part of life, isn't it, huh? This is a beautiful microcosm of life, and the nice part is...
If your life revolves around betting everything you own on the luck of the draw. Absolutely. Skunk, you've done it again. Phil Hellmuth is to fashion sense what Farrah Fawcett is to common sense. Put it this way, with his puzzling shirt choice, Phil Hellmuth wouldn't last a second on Bravo's new poker show.
This fall on Bravo, poker's getting a serious makeover. It's Queer Eye for the straight flush.
Oh, honey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you are way off suit. Okay?
Ouch.
I call.
No, if you would have called, she'd still be with you. Okay?
Oh no, he didn't. It's Queer Eye for the straight flush. This fall, only on Bravo.
And you can bet the house on that. Okay? Hey.
Hey, welcome back to Cheap Seats. In the conclusion of the 1996 U.S. Poker Championships, there are only 3 players left. And sadly, one of them is Phil Hellmuth. But on the flip side, he's one maternal shoulder massage away from starring in the sequel to Spanking the Monkey. Let's get back to it. This music makes Tesh seem edgy.
Right in the middle here.
Flop.
And Ken Flake. Flop and Jack 8-5.
They couldn't afford to give these guys actual glasses.
55,000.
Freeze it. When did Bob Ross relax his hair? Well, there we go. Put a little fluffy club right there. And a little fluffy club right there.
About 106,000.
Hellmuth loving his cards.
Phil's got a pair of jacks with a 9 kicker, and Ken's got a pair of jacks.
You can never surrender.
He's a 9 to win this pot. 5 of clubs. He can win now with a club also.
I think people like me.
Otherwise, Phil Hellmuth, who's led this tournament all the way.
Skyhawk airing it out.
Is out. 10 of spades. Phil is out.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Mother, it's not fair. I want to Noopa Noopa now, Mother. And this just turned into a Pistons-Pacers game.
Are you satisfied with how you played today?
No, I'm not satisfied with my play at all. I mean, this is the first time I've ever finished third in a Hold'em tournament.
But I finished third in the Mr. Congeniality many times.
Spot you don't want to be in. You want to win or get knocked out sooner, but third is not the kind of spot you enjoy.
Why don't you get off my back, Cotter?
I mean, it's just not acceptable. I have so many firsts. I've won every major tournament all over the country.
And he's modest, too, ladies. How is he still single? Oh, yeah, there's that. Skunk! My wife.
Surrender our calls.
High angle shot, not the best thing for this guy. Give him a break. He's trying to be like Trump.
Top is 348.
Well, somebody bought the commemorative Ozzie Newsome poker chips. Skunk.
Surrender's going all in.
Whoa, is he putting the crystal mouse on the line? My wife.
Kenny calls. Probably has an overpair.
Or an ace-8. But good guess, Cotter.
Surinder got 8-6 with 2 8s. Kenny's got the best.
Surinder now sweating more than Michael Jackson in a Discovery Zone ball pit.
Stay in the tournament. Or an 8 or a 4 to tie, a 6 to win.
Yes, I am the best gambler. I get lucky better than anyone.
Kenny Flake.
Hellmuth? I thought his mom drove him home already. Well, there you have it. Ken Flayton wins the 1996 U.S. Poker Championship.
Skyhawk!
Which goes to prove that cranky old people still have a reason to go on living. But the same can't be said of Phil Hellmuth, who proved today that nobody respects a guy in an ugly shirt, especially if he's being a huge Well put. Thank you. Want to give out some cheapies? You bet. Cheapie for most valuable stash? I'm gonna have to go with poker playing Ned Flanders. It takes real chutzpah to sport a soup strainer like his. Sure, Kaplan was rocking the facial hair as well, but that's more of a function of him not owning a razor. Cheapie for least valuable good luck charm? I gotta go with Surinder's Crystal Mouse. It's a poker tournament, not the Antiques Roadshow. Keep your Hummel in your pocket. And that goes for you too, Trump. Well, that's all for us here at Cheap Seats. We leave you now with one more sneak preview of a new network poker show. Thanks for watching.
Poker's a man's game, right? Well, here at Nickelodeon, we say wrong.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's right.
Too rich for my blood.
See ya, jerk.
I call.
Yeah, you drank your juice box too quick. You don't got the ace. I'm all in.
How old are you?
12. Let's go, jerk. You in or out? I'll be 13 next month, so it's okay. Let's go. You in, jerk? Come on.
Catch the Little League World Series of Poker this spring on Nickelodeon.